Max. This is our judge here at Comic Book Warehouse.
How you guys
doing? How did you feel doing the Fear Itself? What did you think of this thing?
Let me tell you, everybody had fun. Everybody had a great time. I've never heard people yelling over little plastic toys before. It was intense. Okay? I wasn't even a Thor fan before this started. I'm kidding. I'm a big Thor fan. I have this funny birthmark.
And you're wearing a Thor shirt.
But, oh, it was amazing. And anybody who's watching this channel has to get into Clix, has to send below, put a message to Jason and Amber that you want to learn Clix, you want to find out where to play, where you can play close to your house. And I'm telling you, it's a great place to meet girls. Look at Jason, he met Amber. If that's not a way to sell it, I don't know what is. It was nuts. And go see Thor 2. What was, okay, ask me, go ahead, what's your other question?
What's your favorite figure from, I know you didn't get to play at our venue, I know you've played at other venues.
The best figure in that set has to be the prize Thor holding Odin's sword.
Nice.
Which I got at the Comic Warehouse in Brampton, Canada. Woo!
Are you looking forward to running AVX or
AVX
Warlight?
is going to be nuts. If anybody's in the Canadian vicinity, right, and wants to know how Amber and Jason are getting all these amazing Marvel and DC Comics related prizes, put a message below and they'll send you out an address.
Right. Warlight? Are you looking forward to War of Light?
Yes, Warlight Necron. It's all about Necron.
Alright, thank you, Max.
Alright, thank you.
There's nothing to fear but fear itself.
Hi guys and welcome to Married with Clix. This is our month 6 of Fear Itself, the breakdown of it.
Oh, thank God it's over.
Yeah. And it's done.
These events are long.
Yeah. So going into Fear Itself, part of the conditions of going into month 6 was that you had to have at least 12 tournament points, which is really easy to get. Even if you don't win any games, as long as you show up, you basically enter into the last tournament. So going in, I had 25 battle points, and that's for 1 point for attendance every month, 1 point for every loss, 2 points for every win, and you get 3 points if you win the tournament. So I was sitting at 25 by month 6. And we did 2 booster sealed, 500 points, build what you pull, and go with that. You were allowed to use any relics or like the Book of Skulls and any hammers that you had collected up to that point. And our venue also allowed us to use Anger and Null's hammer that we got before the tournament.
So many full books.
Yeah. Actually, I faced a surprising amount of not full books. I only fight when it gets wet. So for my team was, I have to remember my team. My team was Miss Marvel, Valkyrie, Iron Fist, the non-mighty Iron Fist, the white-suited one, and Sin for that wonderful outwit. And I was fielding a full 30.8 hammer Book of Skulls. So round 1, I went up against a veteran player there named Keith. I actually fought him last month as well, and he had to rush out. So we had played a speed round game. This one was really nail biting. I have really nice nails. I don't bite my nails. I was biting my nails in this tournament. I was bouncing. I was so nervous. I wanted to make sure that I played to my full potential and everything that I was doing. So for Keith, I went up against the Super Rare Dracula, Black Widow, Speedball, who's a fucking bitch, Sin, and he had the full Book of Skulls. So at the beginning of the round, we're both posturing. We're both just waiting to start dropping hammers. So we both allowed ourselves some time. We did the indoor map.
Dark Asgard.
Sorry? Oh, Dark Asgard is the indoor map for month 6. So we were doing Dark Asgard, and we kind of split our teams. On one side, he had his Speedball come in, charging at the walls to build up his rebound tokens. And I had Iron Fist and Miss Marvel on that side. And then on his other side, he had his Dracula and Black Widow. and I had Valkyrie and Sin there. Sin got wiped out right away. I don't even remember really doing anything with her. So I had Valkyrie going after Dracula, trying to just beat him down. At one point, her first attack, she went in for a charge flurry with a heavy object. Had, I think, she was doing 7 damage. So I think I had perplexed up her attack by something. And flurried on Dracula. Hit him for the 7 damage the first time. And he impervioused away. And then the second one hit him, and he impervioused away. So this set the precedent for my whole game against him. Was Valkyrie was beating on Dracula like a mad woman and could not get through because every time he rolled impervious, he got his impervious. And then on the other side of the map, Iron Fist is up against Speedball, who cannot miss his super senses. And then Sin and... Oh, he had Sin as well, right? Yeah. His Sin and Black Widow were just kind of coming around and picking off Miss Marvel. So, I ended up getting... Speedball and Sin, I think, I killed. I ended up with 177 points afterwards. But, and he took out my entire team. And Dracula ended up being back onto Clix 2 with his special traded vampiric steel energy just driving me crazy. At one point, he was just like, I kept doing stuff to like protect myself, like perplexing up my defense, empowering them with the book to give them superpowers and everything. And he's just like, yeah, I don't care. I don't care. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. And I'm like, this is making me really nervous that he's saying these things. So it came down to the final attack was all I had was Miss Marvel or Valkyrie left. No, Miss Marvel left. And Sin came around the corner and pulse waved her to death. Because the book gave her pulse wave. Absolutely nerve-wracking game. So much fun though. But ended up, I'm like, okay, well, I'm now pretty much out of the running. And with my battle points, I was mighty. So there was actually 3 other people that was above me in battle points. And they were all there that day. So either way, it's like, okay, well, now I'm not in the running for the Serpent. And because of the tournament points, I'm not in the running for Null. So now I'm just kind of playing the fucking game.
Good thing we love Heroclix.
Yeah. So, my second round, I was playing one of the guys that we've gotten to know, great guy who's been showing up. He showed up just for this tournament, and we've gotten to know him over the last 6 months. Buddy named Lorenzo, and he was playing the Super Rare Wolverine, Hawkeye, Heimdall, Monkey King, and Book of Skulls, but only with 5 hammers, not all 8. So I had him sweating. I don't know why. He had me sweating. He was like, no. You had this game. You were fine. You know, I'm like, no, dude. I'm like, I'm sitting here. I'm like, I am gonna lose this game. So he rolled off. He won the roll off. So he went for the Brazil side of the map, which is outdoor, kind of funky, just bits of blocking and everything. The fun thing that I like about it is there's a hole that's supposed to be where Null's hammer drops. And so it's like reverse elevated, where everything on the map is elevated 2, and this hole is elevated 1. So it actually made some strategic points. So when I brought my team out, dropped a few hammers, I had Miss Marvel on the edge of this, well, not quite on the edge, just out of the edge of this divot, this hole in the ground. So he was trying to figure out how to get his team around the hole to attack Miss Marvel, and ended up bringing his Heimdall to me. And I was worried about his Heimdall because you gotta stop within 3 squares. You can't charge him, and all of my characters had charge. But thankfully, with the hammers, all my characters that had charge, I dropped a hammer that gave them running shot. So now they have both options. So, and vice versa, my Miss Marvel had running shot, I dropped her on a hammer with her, give her charge. So he came after my Miss Marvel with his Heimdall, and Valkyrie and Iron Fist were kind of stuck in that bubble, that Heimdall bubble, and Sin was poking people, running-shotting people around the circle. So I managed to do a fair amount of damage to his Heimdall, and he was trying to figure out how to bring his Wolverine in and his Monkey King in. And who was that other person? Oh, and his Hawkeye. Hawkeye, he was really nervous about bringing Hawkeye out because he knew that Hawkeye would basically be just a giant target on his head, which he was, because he was the first thing to die. So, but I was actually more concerned about getting rid of Heimdall, because he's the one that's stopping me from coming in and attacking the Wolverine, because he managed to bring Wolverine back up to next to Heimdall, next to Miss Marvel. So it ended up just being a huge beatdown where Miss Marvel is just taking a huge beating. I'm trying to get around Heimdall, and so Miss Marvel's just done. Hawkeye's done. Heimdall's about halfway down. Wolverine hasn't been touched, and Monkey King's off in the corner doing nothing. So my biggest hitter is now out of the game, and I'm sweating. And I'm hoping that I can get Valkyrie in to get rid of Heimdall. So ended up just taking pot shots with Sin. I had a running shot hammer on Valkyrie, so she was shooting. I brought Iron Fist in, stopped him in Heimdall's bubble so that next time around he could do the charge. Ended up actually taking Heimdall out. On his last click, he's got like a 19 impervious. And I was like, I don't even know if I can hit this with Sin. She's lost her outwit. She's already almost done. And I've been rolling my Book of Skulls, and I land on the click that has outwit and poison. So I took Heimdall out without even rolling. I felt kind of bad about that, but that's an awesome click on the Book of Skulls. So once Heimdall was gone, that freed up Iron Fist to actually charge in Wolverine, and Valkyrie charged in Wolverine. So they both beat down on Wolverine until he was done, even with his stop click. And then it was down to Monkey King. And it actually went the full 50 minutes of the round. It was literally the last action. I was on my last action, Iron Fist versus Monkey King. And empowered him with the book, perplexed up his damage, close combat expert his damage. He had a hammer on him, so he was +2 to his attack, and just took out Monkey Fist in one go, last action of the game. So, so he only got the Miss Marvel off of me. I took his entire team, which was actually an impressive even 500 points. But yeah, he had me sweating, especially with Miss Marvel dropping so easy, so early in that round. So, and then my third round, I went up against a gentleman named Patrick, who has been coming out to all of our events at our venue. And he is a very strategic, very methodical, very rules-based player, so I get very nervous playing against him because I have to be on my toes and know every single rule and every single wording of every single rule, because I could get caught up in, he makes sure that you know everything, otherwise he will call you out on it. So, he was playing Nerkod, Miss Marvel, Black Widow, and Book of Skulls. Unfortunately, I don't know how many hammers he had. He may have had the full 8. So he was actually keeping back. Unfortunately for me, he won the dice roll and chose the Brazil map, which has on both starting areas this strip of like river that comes up, and his Nerkod was able to stay in the water pretty much the entire game, which gives him +1 to his damage and gives him 10 range as long as he's in water. So he can pretty much attack me from his side of the map, and so it was a lot of posturing. I managed to get hammers on almost everyone on my team. Sorry. So let's try. And I had actually was going after his Black Widow first, because that's what he brought forward, was going after her. He was just smacking away my figures. Sin died right away. Miss Marvel was getting crushed by Black Widow, and Nerkod, who's shooting out of the water, and I can't get to him. And what could have actually saved me more in that game is if I had paid attention to Valkyrie's trait, where she can, whenever someone gets Kato, you can drop her in the square that they used to occupy. I didn't do that, and I should have. And there was one really crucial part where Black Widow was like on her last click. She was really, really low down on her dial, and she killed Miss Marvel. And I only had Valkyrie and Iron Fist left. And if I had used Valkyrie's trait, that would have based her with Black Widow, and I could have been able to kill Black Widow with Valkyrie. I didn't do that. So instead, Black Widow was free. He knew how damaged she was and brought her back into his starting area. So I couldn't do anything on that. So then I'm left with an almost full power Miss Marvel, half dial-ish Nercod, and Black Widow, who I could have killed and gotten points off of, and now she's way out of my reach. So then it just came to taking shots back and forth, trying to get to Nercod, trying to get Iron Fist to Black Widow, and he just whittled me down until I was just done. It was the last round, and the rest of the tournament had actually finished around us, and we were the last people playing. So I wasn't even paying attention too much at that point, so I can't remember whether or not I managed to kill anything off of his team, but I don't think I did. So I went 1-2 in the last round, and then our buddy Aiden won the whole tournament outright and got the Serpent, and the nulls were awarded to the top 3 players overall, because at our venue, with Aiden winning for the Mighty, the Worthy and the Mighty both had 3 wins. So there was no outright win of one faction. So it wasn't like the top Mighty people got the null or the top Worthy people. It was the top 3 overall. So it went to Aiden, a guy named Ryan, and Keith, who I had fought in the first round. And so yeah, that was my month 6. Wish I could have done better. I know I could have done better in my last game if I was paying more attention. But like my team, oh my gosh, the Book of Skulls, full, all 8 hammers, all full 4 slots. Oh my gosh, you remembering to empower people with that, you get some pretty awesome pretty awesome abilities out of that. My favorite click so far, even with like the later ones that are like +1 to everything, +2 to everything, no, my favorite click so far is +1 damage, poison, energy shield deflection, and outwit. That one's fun.
Fear itself is over. 6 months of the set is done. It was fun. I liked it. It's our first event, so we didn't get a chance to do the gauntlet. We didn't get a chance to do No Man's Land, so we had to find ways of getting our belts and gauntlets. So, that said, my team consisted of Kurth, who I pulled for the 3rd time now, and decided that fate is telling me to play Kurth. So I played Kurth. He did actually really well for me. The first game, Amber, as Amber mentioned, was against a young man named Lorenzo. A big fan of ours, apparently. Him and his friend Joe and Guy come to our venue regularly for the big events. His team, Monkey King, Wolverine, Heimdall, and Hawkeye, as Amber already said. It was really scary, but I think there was one game I played where Heimdall got in my way, and I've been ready for him since. For instance, I always play Iron Fist, who was on my team. Kurth wasn't really a thing that was going to be an issue. But I always make sure Skirn's hammer goes on that character that I know is going to be dealing the important damage.
Iron Fist ignores his character basis.
Yes, he does. So, that said, the start of the game, he had Heimdall sticking close to Hawkeye. Respectable. I stuck to the other side of the board. Needed to get my hammers down. So I got Skirn's hammer on Juggernugget, Kurth. I put Null's hammer on Iron Fist, which is always fun to do. And I put... What did I put on? I put something on tier. Cursed Hammer on tier. Because I was hiding some hindering terrain, and anybody who wasn't ignoring hindering terrain was going to get slowed down. I also had the Monkey King on my team. So what I did was I put Kurth into the thick of it with Hawkeye and Heimdall. With Skirn's Hammer, he had nothing to worry about. I tried to get some extra movement for my charge, but I couldn't get enough to get to Hawkeye, so I did have to base him plainly at first. He was throwing out the incapacitates left, right, and center, but I was pretty good with my Indomitable characters. He was really just slowing the characters down. And what I did was I like to call the Monkey King butt. We'll call it the Monkey King butt guard. Where what you do is you take your Monkey King, you base 2 characters, and you take a character with charge who he just carried and put him outside of base-to-base contact with the other 2 characters. So now the other 2 characters are forced to either hit the Monkey King, who's got a ridiculously high defense, or try to break away and charge. Now the ideal way I want to do the strategy is with Mock's Hammer. Unfortunately, that wasn't really the option this time because the pacing of the game was a little faster than necessary. So I managed to get Kurth just stepping all over Hawkeye. Those stop clicks are annoying on the Mighty. I'm putting it out there right now. They're really obnoxious. Especially Wolverines. Because Amber has complained about that one. It drops you right to regeneration, and then you can regenerate the next turn, and he's indomitable. But that said, Kurth managed to do his thing with Hawkeye, and then he was having a little bit more trouble with Heimdall. So I pulled Iron Fist over to help him out with Heimdall, and then once Heimdall was gone, it was just a matter of time before Tyr when Iron Fist kind of did their number on the other 2 characters. I did lose my Monkey King in the midst of it all. But I can't fault anything Lorenzo did. He played his butt off. I made more desperate moves than he did, and mine paid off. I created more. I had more desperate positions that I needed to create, and as a result, so it worked out for me. And I beat all his characters and lost my Monkey King. When going into the second round, a player named Adam, he was playing Null, a full book, and Heimdall again. This was a nightmare. Because obviously, if I was going to get anywhere at any kind of decent pace, I needed to get Heimdall gone. I needed to be able to move around, because if he decided he was going to move around on me, I needed to be able to chase him down. That, and I needed points just in case time got called. But that said, the game, our 2 teams facing against each other, it comes down to, because both of our teams are almost 100% close combat, with the exception of when I put hammers down and start using running shot, I had to, you have to base and roll to attack. It's the only options I have. So that said, it didn't work out for me too well. I ended up killing the Heimdall, but the Null, we were dropping hammers left, right, and center just to throw free quakes to hope for any kind of damage in some cases. It was raining hammers in this game. Because remember, you don't have to pick up the hammer. You just have to kind of drop it, get your free quake, and be done with it sometimes. And it just depends on what kind of situation you're trying to run. All in all, I have no regrets on that game. I just wish my dice would have rolled better. There was one point where my tier got knocked back by a quake, and he was in a good position with a nice high attack, 13 attack against an 20 defense, I think it was. 13 on a 20. I needed a 7. I rolled a 3 with a psychic blast for what would have been 4 damage. And then Null charged and killed Tyr. So I got wiped and killed only the Heimdall. So I was a little defeated going into the last round. And I felt sorry for my opponent, a younger guy named Evan. A little quiet dude. I've played him a couple times. He always has the worst luck when he's playing against me. It's always the third round, always after I've, failed to do something very important in one of the first 2 games, like win. I'm always frustrated. Then I end up playing aggressively, and his dice rolls always go bad for him. I feel so bad for the dude. He's a great player. He was playing Null and Kurth. So, as you can imagine, I was a little targeting on Null this time around. Because of the book and all my ability to out-action him, I did that and out-actioned him. I had lots of penetrating damage, lots of high damage coming out of my characters. There was no escaping it for the dude. And he rolled like 3 critical misses in the game too. That didn't help him. I think he hit 1 attack the whole game, and I felt really bad about that game. I mean, there's not much to say about it. My team walked over his, and he missed almost everything. So all in all, Fear itself was fun. I'm really looking forward to AVX, although I would like to see a few better Avengers than, just Captain America. I mean, Iron Man's alright. Spider-Man's the best, my favorite Spider-Man so far. And, I mean, there's not much to be said about the other ones when you compare it to what we've seen from the X-Men with Cyclops and Magneto and Colossus and Namor. So, we'll see. There's still a few more figures to see. But that said, it's been a pleasure playing with all the guys with the Fear Itself event. We look forward to playing with whoever we play with the Avengers vs. X-Men event. And we're going to carry on with a couple clips that we took while we were at the event. Some interviews with some of the guys that we played with, pictures, and yeah.
Alright, so this is Joe and Lorenzo from our venue here at Comic Warehouse. And what did you guys think of the Fear itself now that it is over?
It was a good tournament. I'm not really into the whole Marvel or DC Heroclix, and this being Marvel, I grew to like them. I learned a bit about characters, and all you guys, especially Amber.
Everybody loves me.
I thought it was a good time. I think overall I enjoyed collecting the hammers and the book, but I would have preferred if I know it's counter to what the whole point of the tournament was, but I think the matches would have been more entertaining to play with just the pieces in the set for sealed, because they were so well designed. Like, I really liked almost every piece in the set. I just feel like the hammers took away a lot of the interesting combinations you could have had, because they just overpowered a bunch of characters once they got equipped, right? So it became like a big run and gun game almost every match. But no, overall a good event. A lot of cool prize support, and everybody was like lots of fun. So first tournament for both of us, and got us into the whole tournament scene. Yeah. Hopefully more.
What was your favorite figure from the set?
I can't remember what they're called.
I've been
Dracula.
Dracula was cool, but I don't know. I know that there's much better pieces, and there are a lot of really cool superheroes in the set. The Colossus should have been my favorite character, and I pulled him, and he was great, and he did everything I wanted him to. But I'd been waiting for a new modern age Iron Fist, and I got 2 with both of the new outfits. So I gotta say Iron Fist. Iron Fist is like the best piece in the set for me. So
The dice are the best.
Are you guys looking forward to either AVX or War of Light?
Probably War of Light. I don't think I'm gonna come up for EVX, but War of Light does sound like fun. I don't know any of the characters, but I know a roll of dice. It's about it. Figure it out from there.
War of Light will be a lot of fun, but AVX has tickled my fancy. I'm not sure yet which side I'm gonna pick, so I'm not really sure where I'm gonna go with that
This
tournament.
is nice. I give the joking answer, and he comes in with the straight facts. And...
Alright, we'll switch sides. You can take it.
All right. So wait, I have to have facts now.
Yeah.
All right, give me some facts.
I can only make jokes now.
I got
Alright.
nothing.
Well, thank you guys so much.
Thank you guys for all.
Thank you, Married with Clix. You guys are
Yeah,
awesome.
you guys are awesome.
Alright guys, so this is our venue here in Brampton, Ontario. That's in Canada. It is the Comic Warehouse. This is where we play every Saturday, where we've been playing our Fear itself. It is right on next to like a highway, so sorry for the sound. And this is after our Fear itself tournament, so not very bright. There's Jason, and there's the address there, 20 Strathern Avenue. So anybody in the GTA area, this is a great place to play, and you can come meet me and Jason.